What's up, PHS? I'm Drake Henderson.
And I'm Garrison Branscombe.
And this is PHS Student News. National Security Advisor Michael Flynn resigns from his position this week.
In a recent study, we found that China and India accounted for half of the world's pollution deaths in 2015.
Mexico is one of the top buyers in American corn, but after the recent statements made by President Trump, Mexico is now turning to Brazil or Argentina to buy its corn, and that could really affect the Midwest and its exports.
Directed by Chris McKay, the Lego Batman movie has become an instant classic. The star-studded cast, including Jonah Hill, Michael Cera, has Batman fans all over the world going wild.
The Grammys were earlier this week, with Adele winning big. Blink-182 ended up losing their category, but it was a great effort by them, and it was a great album. They've been great for the past 30 years, and we like to expect much more good music from them. Thank you.
The weather's been an up and down roller coaster lately. Now we'll go to Cody and Clayton to find out what it's going to be like this weekend.
Thanks, Garrison. This weekend's weather is going to be pretty cold, so you're probably going to need warm clothes. Cody will tell you about the weekend weather.
Friday's going to be a high of 68 and low of 48. Saturday will be cloudy with a high of 68 and low of 49. And Sunday will be sunny, high of 77 and low of 51.
And now we're going to Trent and myself with this week's sports update. About the global sports.
PSG defeated Barcelona 4-0. LeBron James and the Cavaliers defeated Zach LaVine and the Timberwolves 116-108. And former wide receiver Roderick Meacham has been jailed for owing $400K in child support.
Most senior teams won trip to regionals this week, so we'd like to congratulate them on that and wish them luck in their upcoming events. That's all for sports. Thank you and go Mustangs.
Hey guys, I'm here with the junior high girls who are now district champs. I'm going to ask them a few questions and see what their thoughts are. So Lindsay, how does it feel now that you are district champs?
Good.
So what are your plans for next season?
Hopefully get district champs again. But we won't have these 9th graders, so we'll have to step up and fill their spots.
No offense, but going into this, I don't think many people thought that y'all would win it all.
I didn't think we'd win it all.
Going into it, obviously you didn't, but did any of y'all have any confidence that you would win the whole thing?
Yes. No. Coach did.
So more or less, it was a surprise when y'all started winning throughout the playoffs and made it to the district championship.
Jessieville wasn't a surprise. Lamar, that wasn't really a surprise. We've beaten them before. I didn't think we'd be playing Atkins in the finals, but we played them, and so when we beat them, and
so your team's filled with very talented players, and I think, and I'm sure some of y'all would agree, that you might be one of the best players on the team. So is there any pressure or any kind of responsibility that comes with being the player that you are?
no.
Okay, Allie. Now that your 9th grade year has ended, how will you transition from junior high team onto the senior high team? And how can you use your success on this team and carry it over to help the senior high team next year?
Well, I think it'll be an easy transition because we're all such good friends and stuff. And I think us 9th graders will be big assets to the senior high team. And we're going to come out and win district champs again next year.
Winning 9 of your last 11 games, how did that success translate into confidence for the district championship?
Well, Coach always tells us to keep our composure and to not be cocky and not think that you can do it, but don't act like you can do it. So it's helped us a lot. It's benefited us a lot.
Overall, can you give us your overall opinion on how this season went for you?
It was a bunch of up and downs, but overall it was good.
All right, well, that is the junior high girls district champs, and those are their thoughts on winning.
We're here with Christine. She's going to tell us more about what she does and the pigs.
Hi everybody, like I said, my name's Christine. I am the livestock coordinator here at Heifer Ranch. I've been working here for the last year, and before that I was actually a livestock volunteer that turned into a career. So here on the ranch we have about 10 different species of animals, anywhere from the cows you saw earlier to the pigs, sheep, goats, poultry. We have about a little over 150 animals total on this 1,200 acre ranch. So the girls that we have here with us today, these are 3 of our sows. So these are pigs that have had babies. We are starting to increase the number of pigs we have here on the ranch that farrow. Farrow is just the act of birthing piglets. And then those piglets are going to what Heifer is actually doing in the United States. So Heifer USA right now is focused in Arkansas. They have 2 different cooperatives. One of them is a vegetable cooperative that Finn will tell you more about. The other one is a livestock cooperative that's called Grassroots Farmers Co-op. And all of the piglets that we produce here on the ranch will be given to those farmers to be raised for meat and to be sold in their co-op.
Oh, that sounds good.
Yeah. Calf, which is 3 days old today. Her name is Rose. She will stay with her mom for about 10 months. She'll be nursing off of her mom. And she will, since she's a female, she's a heifer, she will stay in our cow herd to be bred when she's 2 years old and to produce more calves for us. Yes. So we have 37 cows here on the ranch. One of them is a bull, but we are starting to do a cow-calf operation where we will breed all of our cows to have babies during the summertime, and then the males we will use and we will raise them on grass around the ranch, and then they'll be processed and served in our kitchen as well. And then all the females we will continue to breed to increase the size of our cattle herd. You see most of them have black hides, some of them have red. We are trying to lean more towards having the red hide animals. They do better in the Arkansas heat. And the breed that we're going for is called South Poles, which is what this mama is, and that calf is a South Pole as well.
Hey Dan, can you see the baby?
No, I got zoomed on it.
There you go. Get some action.
Yeah.
I'll stay with you. I wish I was underneath there.
From the Fox 9 studios, here are Robin Robinson and Jeff Passelt.
Well, hi there, everyone, and welcome to this Fox 9 Investigators Special. Tonight, we shine the spotlight on some of our most important stories of the past year.
We begin with the first-of-its-kind investigation into fatal car crashes. The Fox 9 investigators spent 3 months crisscrossing the state to take you inside the mangled frames of wrecked cars and trucks involved in rollovers.
Now, what they found should change the way you drive. That's because nearly every death in the rollover crashes that they investigated could likely have been prevented. Here's Trish Van Pilsen.
You can only cover so many fatal crashes in which grieving family members swear their loved one always wore a seatbelt before you start to wonder a couple of things. Do people actually wear seatbelts as often as they say? Or is life so cruel that the one and only time they don't wear a seatbelt is the time they roll the car? Either way, there's no undoing the fatal mistake. At first, it's eerie to climb into a car in which someone has died. But then I realized they didn't actually die here, but in the ditch or on the road. If they'd stayed here, they might not be dead at all, which is the point of all this.
This one mistake cost her life.
It's hard to imagine the grief that follows a traffic death
We're gonna have to find a new normal. Learn how to live without her.
Getting any worse.
We mourn the loss of her, but we also mourn the loss of our dreams for her.
But when you see a car like Brianna Reamer's,
it just adds to the list of things that you suffer through.
Or like the one sitting in Don Rasmussen's tow lot.
We see a lot of it over the years.
And you think
dozens of people that certainly would have lived had they had their seatbelts on.
That maybe this person didn't have to die. It's enough to make you cry.
I'm too emotional for this. When young people die, it's harder.
And he doesn't even know the people. He just tows the cars and hears the stories. Stories like this one. Richard Raines has kept his son's car.
I kept it just to prove a point.
His son Dylan and Dylan's girlfriend died when the car rolled and they were thrown.
You can't believe it. I know he was a seatbelt person. I believe she was too.
3 months ago, the Fox 9 investigators asked the Minnesota State Patrol and every county sheriff in the state to tell us when someone was killed or seriously hurt when they were thrown from their car. And this usually meant a rollover crash.
It's tumbling like a football. Football's got that end-for-end tumble.
Whenever possible, I inspected each car and climbed inside. In this crash, the car did exactly what it was designed to do. It absorbed all of the impact on the outside of the car. And here on the inside, especially in the passenger area, it's largely intact. There is room at my head, room at my sides, room all around. There was room to live, if only the young girl riding here had been buckled safely in the car. What exactly does room to live mean? The way cars are designed has changed. They're built with what's called crumple zones. In any kind of crash, the front and back ends absorb the energy created by impact by compressing. In a rollover, the ends compress, the windshield often shatters, the sides of the car may bend in some, but the occupant area is supposed to hold up. Safety folks call this area the cage, and for good reason. It is remarkably strong, and if you're wearing your seatbelt, it will hold you inside.
But this is what they're gearing for, is protection of the occupants.
Fly out of that protective cage, and there's nothing between you and the ground.
They don't get dumped in a pile right there. So it says the vehicle comes back up, and they get pitched out. So they get pitched out on the high side. I have not come across a crash yet where the people would have been better off ejected.
Gouge mark?
The State Patrol was working this rollover crash just outside Mankato earlier this month.
It appears as though the occupant was ejected due to the vault or the rollover. The vehicle then appeared to have landed on the roadway on top of the driver.
In this car, too, there is room to live.
This has been another episode of PHS Weekly News.
Have a great weekend and stay classy, Perry County.